Hey everyone! Let's dive into some drama and controversy surrounding two well-known figures in sports media, Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks. Both are prominent sideline reporters, but their personal lives have stirred up a bit of a storm. We're going to unpack some of the things that have been happening recently, only here on Sports Frenzy TV. Let's start with Joy Taylor. She was once partnered up with Taylor Rooks on the podcast. From what I understand, they called it too personal and it didn't really stay around for long. In fact, I think it only lasted one episode, or maybe it was a little more, but it was enough to cause a bit of a stir. The whole vibe of the podcast was let's just say it was too personal for some people. These two ladies were pretty open on air, sometimes to the point where it looked like they were trying to present themselves in a certain way, one that felt a little, provocative. They were barely dressed on the show and it definitely raised some eyebrows. Now, we all know Joy Taylor for being an outspoken sports personality, but it seems like the shine on her career has dimmed a little bit. She found herself caught up in a lawsuit, which involved some allegations that didn't exactly paint her in the best light. There were accusations about her personal life and her relationships with high-profile men, including rumors of her possibly being involved with an executive at Fox Sports, as well as Emmanuel Acho, the former football player turned TV host. Honestly, all of this has turned Joy Taylor into the butt of jokes in certain circles. But I think it's important to point out that the whole situation isn't just about who she's been seen with. There are bigger dynamics at play, and her career and public image have definitely taken a hit from these allegations. On the other hand, Taylor Rooks seems to be navigating her own unique path in the world of sports media. She's an NBA sideline reporter for TNT, and she's just been given a major role. Recently, it was announced that she'll be the studio host for Amazon's NBA broadcasts. That's a huge step in her career. But of course, when a woman in sports media starts climbing the ladder, people tend to talk about her personal life. There's a lot of buzz about Taylor's romantic life, and rumors have been flying around. Apparently, during Super Bowl week, there were some whispers about her possibly going out with CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Not only that, but there were also rumors that she was seen with Joe Burrow, the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. As you can imagine, these rumors have fueled a lot of speculation online. But here's the thing. If we're being real about it, Taylor Rooks has earned a spot in the sports media world. She's not just some pretty face standing on the sidelines. She's worked hard to get where she is. And as far as the rumors about her dating athletes go, I don't think we should be quick to judge. At the end of the day, she's an adult and she's allowed to date whoever she chooses. That doesn't necessarily diminish her credibility as a reporter, nor should it impact her career. But of course, when you're a woman in sports media, especially one who's as good at her job as Taylor, your personal life becomes a topic for public debate. Now, let me take a moment to say that if I were making a list of the top 5 most attractive people in sports media, Taylor Rooks would definitely be in the running for number 1. She's absolutely stunning. But I have to wonder if there's a line where people might start to question her intentions, especially if they're perceiving her as trying to gain favor with athletes based on her appearance. It's an unfortunate stereotype that women in sports media face. This idea that if they're good looking, they must be using their looks to get ahead. But I don't think that's true in Taylor's case or in the case of many other female reporters. If you look at another example, take Erin Andrews for instance. She is married to a former NHL player, but she never actually covered the NHL. So there's definitely some overlap in the worlds of sports media and athletes' personal lives. And it's not always as scandalous as people make it out to be. It's worth noting that athletes are human beings too. They're going to date who they want, and let's face it, they're surrounded by some of the most beautiful women in the world. Women who happen to be right there on the sidelines, looking their best. The question then becomes, do we look at these women differently because of their associations with athletes? Are they being unfairly judged, or is it just part of the game? Honestly, if I were a sideline reporter, I'd probably rather be linked to Joe Burrow or CeeDee Lamb than some other people in the media world who have gotten into similar situations. It's all about the optics, right? At the end of the day, the public perception of someone like Taylor Rooks will always be shaped by the choices she makes, both in her personal life and in her career. But here's the interesting part of this conversation. There's a clear distinction between how Joy Taylor and Taylor Rooks approach things. Joy, especially with her two personal podcasts, seemed to blur the line between her professional career and personal life. She presented herself in a way that invited people to see her as a figure of attraction rather than just as a sports analyst. Now, that's a personal choice, but it does raise questions about how women in sports media navigate their public image. On the other hand, Taylor Rooks, from what I can see, is taking a different approach. She's out here doing her thing professionally and personally without putting everything on display for the world to critique. But at the same time, there's also this fine line that female sideline reporters in particular have to walk. As a reporter, you're already in a high-profile job, and when your personal life starts to spill into the spotlight, it's hard not to feel like people are judging you for things that should be none of their business. And let's be honest, a lot of these women probably feel the pressure to stay quiet or not speak about how they feel because they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to risk their careers over something that's outside their control. Take it from someone who's been in the media world for a while. There's a double standard at play here. Men and women in sports media, especially sideline reporters, are constantly judged for their looks and their personal lives. It's like we expect them to be perfect, but then we also scrutinize every decision they make. If a male reporter were seen out with an athlete, I don't think it would generate as much buzz as it does when a female reporter does the same thing. But here's the thing. We can't let this idea that women in sports media are somehow sleeping their way to the top define everything about them. These women are professionals. They've worked hard to get to where they are, and they deserve to be treated as such. They don't need to be put into this box where their personal lives are the only thing people care about. Their talents, their expertise, and their ability to do their job should speak for themselves. Taylor Rooks has the potential to change the narrative in sports media. She can date who she wants, date athletes if that's her choice, and still maintain her professionalism and integrity. But of course, people will continue to talk, and they'll continue to judge. It's a tough world out there, but I think Taylor Rooks can handle it. And ultimately, it's her decision who she dates. She's a grown woman, and she should be able to live her life however she wants. So what do you guys think? Do you think women in sports media should be more careful about how their personal lives are portrayed? Or should we just let them live their lives and stop making everything about who they're dating or what they're wearing? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of fearless commentary. Catch you in the next one.